Welcome back, everybody, to another reaction video. Well, ever since I did Screaming Eagles by Sabaton, the most requested video I've had has been 82nd All the Way. Everybody's saying, hey, you did the 101st Airborne, now you've got to do the 82nd. For we who are here in the United States, and I know a lot of you aren't, probably the two divisions that we hear the most about are the 101st and 82nd Airborne. They're two of our active duty units that are frontline, kind of first to go in. I believe to this day, the 82nd is kind of our first reaction force. So if we need troops somewhere in 48 hours, it's usually a brigade from the 82nd Airborne Division that we send in. So I grew up hearing stories about both of these units. A couple quick things I want to point out before we get into today's reaction video. Number one, I get a lot of people commenting on other reactions saying, hey, you need to check out this, you need to check out that, and they're ones I've already done videos for. So make sure that you're subscribed and make sure that you've got your notifications turned on, and make sure you check out the rest of the channel if you're new to the channel. Go and browse. There's a lot of videos up, and they're not just reaction videos. I also visit historic sites. I do vlogs talking about historic topics. So check those things out. You might find that the thing you're suggesting I've already done a video for. Another thing, just because I'm a historian and I'm someone who's gone to school for history doesn't mean I know everything about every single area of history. I get comments like that sometimes that say, hey, how are you a historian and you don't know this particular thing? Well, every historian has their areas of expertise. For me, it's the U.S. Civil War, it's British medieval history, and then to a lesser degree, World War I, World War II, some other areas, American Revolution, things like that. I don't know everything about everything. No one does. I'm here to learn just like you guys are. So sometimes I'm going to learn things from your comments. Sometimes you're going to learn things from mine. Sometimes there are misconceptions people have. Still dealing with a lot of people over the whole Bismarck is a he thing. And there's a long story behind that, but look into it for yourself. And then the last thing is we do have a vote going right now over on Patreon over what the next reaction would be. I haven't chosen one of these yet because right now we've only got 3 votes and they're all for different things, so there's no winner. So if you want to sign up to support the channel in that way, there are a lot of perks that are available through Patreon. If you want to go check those out, the link's in the description. Once we have a clear winner, we'll choose one of these: Rorke's Drift, Last Stand, Blood of Bannockburn, Winged Hussars. But for now, let's dive into 82nd All the Way. I'm excited to check this one out. So you see right there, before we even get into this, that AA, that's their division insignia. I believe it stands for All-American because 82nd is known, just like the 101st was the Screaming Eagles, the 82nd is known as the All-American Division. Oh, we're going back to World War I. Overseas to the trenches he went from the land of the free. So obviously in World War I, the 82nd was not known as the 82nd Airborne Division. Just like today, 101st Airborne is technically not the 101st Airborne, it's the 101st Infantry Division Air Assault, because, you know, we don't do a lot of paratroopers anymore. I mean, they still, some of them are qualified for that, but air assault, you know, helicopters, things like that. So we're going back to World War I when it was just the 82nd Infantry Division. This is when Alvin York, who I'm assuming this is about, a man from Tennessee, was probably the most well-known American soldier from the First World War. Yep. Yep. I like it. Into the fires of hell, they are gone, not hero to be. After the war from over the sea, intervene 1918, all the way from Tennessee into 123. So Hill 223 is where Alvin York gets his Medal of Honor. Incredible bravery that day, and we'll talk a little bit about the end, about that at the end. I want to see what all they cover of it, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. But yeah, the Meuse-Argonne Offensive was kind of the first really big battle that the Americans were involved in. It wasn't the first battle America was involved in, but it was kind of our first mass scale fight for the American troops. There were about 1 million of them that ended up in the American Expeditionary Force.
8th of October he went, made a sergeant for his deeds. Fearless leading the raid of the war, machine gun on the hill. Just the enemy taking the prisoners by power of his will. There on the day, Sergeant York entered the fray, saving the day, 82nd all the way. Into the fires of hell they are gone, a hero to be. After the war from over the sea, intervened 1918, all the way from Tennessee into 123.
So my favorite part, and again, I'm probably getting ahead of myself a little bit here. My favorite part of the story is at one point, Alvin York runs out of ammunition in his rifle, and he's got a pistol, and he pulls out a pistol. There are 6 Germans charging at him with bayonets, and he pulls out a pistol, and he takes out all 6 of them before they can get at him. It just, I'm trying to wrap my mind around everything he did that day. It was just incredible. We'll read his Medal of Honor citation.
Sergeant York achieved that day would echo to the USA. It's 82nd all the way, and from above what they now say. What Sergeant York achieved that day echoes from France to the USA. It's 82nd all the way, and from above what they now say.
Only 132.
Into the fires of hell they are gone, a hero to be. After the war from over the sea, intervened 1918, all the way from Tennessee into 120. Hell they are gone, a hero to be. After the war from over the sea, intervened 1918, all the way from Tennessee into 123.
So, and what's cool about this too is Alvin York wasn't a young guy. I think he was like in his early 30s when all of this happened. So, he's fighting with guys that are almost half his age. I mean, a little more than half his age. But let's go ahead and take a look a little bit deeper into a little bit of Alvin York's story. I'm sure there's probably a Sabaton history about this as well. But let's take a look specifically at what all he did. So I threw my glasses on for this. Here's from the Medal of Honor Society website. He was a corporal at the time this happened with Company G, 2nd Battalion, 328th Infantry of the 82nd Division. October 8th, 1918, near Château-Chéry, France. After his platoon had suffered heavy casualties and 3 other non-commissioned officers had become casualties, Corporal York assumed command of the entire platoon. Fearlessly leading 7 men, he charged with great daring a machine gun nest, which was pouring deadly and incessant fire upon his platoon. In his heroic feat, the machine gun nest was taken, together with 4 officers and 128 men and several guns. To read a little more about this, we can take a look here on Wikipedia, and you can kind of read about a lot of this, but here it says, during the assault, 6 German soldiers in a trench near York charged him with fixed bayonets. York had fired all the rounds of his 1917 Enfield rifle, so he drew his M1911 pistol and shot all 6 soldiers before they could reach him. German Army First Lieutenant Paul Jürgen Vollmer, commanding the 120th Reserve Infantry Regiment's 1st Battalion, emptied his pistol trying to kill York while he was contending with the machine guns. Failing to injure York and seeing his mounting losses, he offered in English to surrender to the unit to York, who accepted. By the end of the engagement, York and his 7 men marched their German prisoners back to the American lines. Upon returning to his unit, York reported to his brigade commander, Brigadier General Julian Robert Lindsay, who said, "York, I hear you've captured the whole German army." That was something we already read. And he said, "No, sir, I only got 132. Incredible story. Here's a really cool picture of York going back a few months later and standing at the hill where this took place. So use the comment section below. Let me know what you know about York. Let's have a conversation about Alvin York. Come on over and join us over on Discord, and we can have a further conversation in our history chat section for World War I. Let me know your thoughts. Hit that like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.